Kenyans deserve some guaranteed minimum income during these tough times. The social protection programs, which guarantee a basic monthly income, must be reinstated and expanded. In our push for social and economic justice for the people of Kenya, we must also strongly oppose plans to sell off state-run parastatals and ensure these entities serve the public good rather than lining the pockets of individuals in government. With regard to electoral justice, we must return this country to the ideal that the government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the people. The people express their preferences through the ballot, and that the preferences made at the ballot must be respected. As I have said before, Kenya has become a laboratory for bad election practices that others borrow around the continent. An organized elite keen to protect narrow selfish interests has forged strategic alliances and captured strategic systems and institutions with the sole purpose of subverting the substance of elections. As a result, the majority is at the mercy of the minority with regard to free, fair, transparent, and credible elections. People wake up at dawn, stand in long queues to cast their ballots, but they end up with the results that indicate their votes were not counted and did not count. Economic and electoral justice must be seen to be intertwined. We must pursue them with the resolve, the courage, the sense of urgency, and the faith that they deserve, and we must do it now. Soon it will be too late. I'll finish those notes. Then now, I want to now add a few points. First of all, what Professor Adam Solo mentioned to you people, and also what my other three brothers here have talked about. One, I want to begin to tell you here that nobody has asked for, and there will be no handshake. They've kept on talking wherever they go, oh, these people are doing this because they want to be called for handshake and so on. You have not asked anybody for handshake, and we don't want any handshake. What we are talking about is we are doing this in the interest of this country. In the last elections, we negotiated with Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, and what we agreed on was put in a memorandum of understanding, which we made public on the day of the handshake. And that is what informed the decision to set up a task force which came up with the BBI. That was the basis of the handshake. We then, as the opposition, never had any position in government. We did not even appoint a CAS, not even a minister. So there's been a propaganda which has been spread by this team of Kenya Kwisha, was responsible for the problems within Jubilee government. We never had a say in the Jubilee government. We never had anybody appointed even as a head of parastatal in the Jubilee government. Not even a permanent secretary in the Jubilee government. We have never had. They are the ones who are in government, the ones who are living there, earning a salary, having protection of security and so on, and yet they come out to the government and saying that the government had failed. If it failed, they were part and parcel of that failure, not us. Now, those who have spoken before have given you historical background to political development in our country from independence to where we are. We had a multi-party system at independence. we had KANU and KADU and APP. Eventually, KADU and APP dissolved and joined KANU. They all joined KANU without having to go for any by-elections. He just walked across the aisle from one side to the other side. But later on, when there was now internal contradictions within KANU, then they came up with a constitutional amendment that required that if you left the party that sponsored you into parliament and you resign from that party, then you have to go back for a by-election, a re-election, to seek the mandate. That existed at the period when they had the KPU. Then, after KPU was banned, we had now a de facto one-party state, de facto, from 1969 to 1982, when they came up with another amendment that made the country now a de jure single party. Now you either are a member of just KANU, that's the only when you can be elected. And if you were suspended or expelled from the party, you automatically lost your parliamentary seat. And by-election was held in your constituency. That went on until we put pressure for repeal of Section 2A and allowing for formation of other political parties, which we achieved in 1991. After that, we had the first multi-party elections in 1992. And then we went into parliament. We had KANU, Ford Kenya, Ford Asili, and the DP. We had also Kenya Social Congress of the late George Anyona. After the swearing in, the swearing in and the election of the Speaker, before Parliament was officially inaugurated by the President, some members defected. One from Port Kenya, one from the DP. And this now occasioned a by-election. They were defecting to the ruling party, to KANU. But the requirement is that if you defect from the party that sponsored you in the parliament, you have to go for a by-election. And we have by-elections in Migori and in Bonchari. Later on we had by-elections in Lugari, when Apili Wawire, the MP, then defected. There was also a by-election in Hamisi, when the member of parliament, late Mr. Haniri, defected. Later on we had by-elections in Ikolomani, in Lurambi, in Shinyalu, when members there defected. We had also by-elections in Dhiwa and Nyatiki constituency. Each time a member of parliament left the party that sponsored them to parliament, they had to resign and go and seek fresh mandate. That was the rule. I myself resigned from the party that had sponsored me into elections, Ford Kenya, when we disagreed irreparably with the leadership. I resigned and went and sought a fresh mandate from the people of Lang'at, and I was re-elected. This was the situation during all that period of time until now we came to 2010 Constitution. The 2010 Constitution now created a presidential system of government. But all the same, it says clearly that Kenya is a multi-party democracy. Kenya is a multi-party democracy. A multi-party democracy, mature multi-party democracies, there's nothing like defection. US, you see a situation like the last time, there was only one member difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. But the situation where a member of a Democrat would defect to go and join Republicans is unthinkable. There are very few cases in history. It will not work. In the UK, it's unthinkable that a member of the Labour Party will defect and join the Tories. It does not happen. It does not happen. You are elected on this party's mandate and you remain the member of that party unless you are expelled from the party. Remain a member of the party. In the German parliament, the same. You are a Christian Democrat, a Christian Socialist, you are a Social Democrat, and so on and so forth. This is the direction we must go in this country. We have had coalitions, a pre-election coalition because of the presidential nature of our system here. But you are elected as a member of a party which is a member of a coalition. A member of a party which is a member of the coalition, the party should not actually resign, it should not leave the coalition. That because as you're going to the people, you are going with a mandate, you are going with the manifesto of the coalition. And you are being elected on the basis of the manifesto of that party. It is very cheap and principled for a political party to say, after the elections, you're now resigning and now going to join another coalition, the one actually you ran against.